Okay, I recognize two things. One, this TBR is ridiculous. And two, I am very sick. Welcome to my first ever attempt at a 24-hour readathon. Is this the worst timing I could have ever chosen? Yes. I'm only choosing it because I'm so sick. Now, will I make it through the whole 24 hours? No, because I'm sick. But I have to stay at home and do like nothing tomorrow. I've had a fever for 2 days and it better be gone by tomorrow. But even if it's not gone, I'm still going to sit around and read and rest. Editing Megan here. I just want to spoil it for you. I have strep throat in this video and I didn't know it until now. This is the next day after the 24-hour readathon, and I woke up and I was just as sick as I was the day before. And you'll see in the video I kind of talk about how my fever keeps coming back. I got up this morning, it was 101.5 by the or 101.1 I think it was by the time I got to the doctor, and green stuff coming out of my nose. It was gross, and I don't even have a sore throat. But guess what, I have strep, and I should have gone to the doctor before, because if I had antibiotics, maybe I wouldn't have been sick for 4 days. So anyway, just know that I did not know that in this clip, but now I do. So tomorrow my child's gonna be at daycare and my husband is going to be at school doing a professional development thing. So I will be by myself all day until my child gets home from daycare, which, I mean, it's almost like how much can I realistically read, because I also have a child. He's 3 years old. Like I said, he does go to daycare, but we shall see. The big thing I want to tell you guys is my theory about 24-hour readathons, and this is a hot take, and I know people are going to call me out on it. My hot take is that it's not a 24-hour readathon if you don't do it just over the course of a 24 hours straight. People are like, oh, I do the timer method. The timer method, that's like just reading whenever you want. Like, oh yeah, it took me 4 days to get to the 24 hours. Well, I can do that. Anybody can do that. Like, what? Or dividing it up into two 12-hour sections. No, that's not a 24-hour readathon. That's two 12-hour readathons. So I also, though, do not condone necessarily staying up for 24 hours. I've only stayed up for 24 hours once in my entire life, and it was miserable. So I will not be doing that. So I prioritize my sleep. It's just literally not humanly possible for me to do, especially I'm sick and I have a child. So that is out too. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. We are going to get up early as we possibly can and get it started as soon as we wake up for the readathon. I say we, like you're joining me. And then I will keep you updated throughout the day. I'm also going to dye my hair, so come along with me for that. So anyway, I will see you guys bright and early in the morning. So let's quickly chat about the TBR before we actually get into the readathon. I know this is overly ambitious. I know there's no way I am getting to all of these books, but for sure we are going to read What Feasts at Night, which is the little novella. So I think I can definitely read it. It's like 150 pages. This is the sequel to What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. I've read a lot of T. Kingfisher lately, the last couple years. I like most of what I've read, and this is a retelling of Fall the House of Usher. At least the first book was, and then I don't know where this one's going. So that'll be good to kind of get me in the mood for fall vibes, even though it's only July. This is the sequel to Shatter Me, and it's really big, but I might just start it just for fun. This is a graphic novel, so I thought I could definitely get through it just to, you know, add more books to the book count. And I've still never read it, and I bought this pretty special edition. It's in the Villains series by V.E. Schwab. It's actually in between Vicious and Vengeful, which are two of my favorite books ever. I loved Vicious so much. I was going to reread Vicious before I read this one, but I just don't think I'm ever going to get around to it. So we may just go ahead and read it today. I'm also going to read Meddling Kids. I think that's a top priority one, which is kind of like a Scooby-Doo retelling. It's really fun. I'll tell you more about this one later. I have the audiobook and the ebook for this one, so we can kind of switch back and forth. Then I thought when I want some nonfiction and get bored of everything else, I could try this book, Imagineering an American Dreamscape, Genesis, Evolution, and Redemption of the Regional Theme Park. This is a book I think it's self-published. I got for Christmas. I actually asked for it, but I've read a lot of books about like Disney World and stuff like that, but I've not read much about regional theme parks like Kings Island, which is my home park, or Cedar Point, which is like my favorite park, you know, parks like that are maybe not even open all year round. So that'll be fun. And then finally, because I liked Shatter Me, and it's by Tahara Mafi, however you say her name, this series is a young adult fantasy romance. Now this is big, but font is tiny, so at least there's that. So it's a trilogy. It is completed. We have all the books in our library. I did get this one from the public library though, but I thought we'd give it a try, like just, you know, kind of test out a couple of these books, maybe not even read all of them. Okay, I just woke up. It's time to get started. I've slept so badly. I couldn't breathe, and I don't think I have a fever, so that's good. But it is 5:42 in the morning, so we're just gonna go ahead and stay awake because I don't want to try to go back to sleep. I think I slept 6.5 hours, so I don't know how late I'll be able to stay up tonight. to try to do this 24-hour readathon. But you know who had it right? Kayla from Books and Lala. She said, get up at like 4 a.m. because that's not a terrible time to get up. That's also not a terrible time to go to bed. So she did her 24 hours from 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. And that's really smart. Good on her. I can't do that. So my plan is I'm going to go start getting ready right now, just so I'm ready whenever Ash does wake up. But I'm going to go ahead and start listening to the audiobook for Meddling Kids, I think, because I can pay attention to it while I'm getting ready. Update, it is 7:30 in the morning and I have read approximately 15% of Meddling Kids this morning, but I've got to go wake the boy up and get him to daycare. So my husband's going to take him, and I had to do the neti pot thing because my sinuses are so clogged, it's insane, and I couldn't taste anything that I was eating, so that was kind of sad. I really can't taste a single thing, so yeah, my snacks today are not even going to be fun. I even have the pink slush Alani, and I'm not even going to be able to taste it, but I will update you on what this book is actually about after I get Ash to daycare. Okay, I am fixing a bowl of cereal because I'm hungry, so that means that this is literally second breakfast. Yeah. I wanted to give you an update on the book. I've been reading Meddling Kids, and this book is like, if you like Scooby-Doo as a child, you would like this book. This is who this is for. It's for people that are like my generation that grew up watching Scooby-Doo, and now they could read a more like adult version. And basically, it's about this group of kids. Let me try my cereal. It's this like chocolate cereal, it's coconut flakes. It's so yummy. It's about this group of kids, and there were 4 of them, and one of them has since died. So now there's only 3, but the other one is a ghost. Also have a dog, like literally a straight up Scooby-Doo type dog that can think and talk. Not talk, he can't talk, but he can like, you hear his inner thoughts sometimes, which is kind of funny. And they got up to some hijinks back in the day, in like the 70s or 80s, whatever it was. Wow, I just spilled milk everywhere. This is bad. So they got up to all these hijinks, right? And they caught this bad guy that they, was in a mask or whatever, and thought that that was the end of this mystery. Well, it turns out it's not. The guy has been released from prison now, and he admitted to doing it. But what they've realized, or they start to suspect, is that there's actually something supernatural, horror kind of thing going on. So I think it is going to get scary. And they are going to go back years later. They have to get the band back together, and they're going to go back later now and investigate this mystery and see if reopen the case. And it's set at like this haunted house on this creepy island. And that's what they're doing right now. They just got the band back together, and they're going to the haunted house to investigate and see if maybe it was actually something supernatural and not a man in a mask, just like on Scooby-Doo. So anyway, it's really fun. I think it's moving a little slow, getting everybody back together and getting to where they are. It's really trying to build up the actual characters. So, I mean, I guess I kind of like that, but I kind of just wanted to get into the mystery, I suppose. This morning alone, I have read 20% of the book. So I'm at 37%, and I'm gonna maybe read just a little bit more on it while I eat, and then I'm gonna start another book. Oh, and the time, by the way, is 9:24. So I did get a little distracted and watched a little bit of YouTube. So I need to get back to reading. Look at this wind. Look at this ambiance I have for reading a scary story. It's so cloudy. It's literally like, I don't even know, like 68 degrees outside, and it's July. This is weird. I would sit outside and read, except that I'm just too sick to do that. Okay, we are going to pause on Meddling Kids for a little bit. I am 53% through, and I started at 17% this morning, so it's 10:45. And I've listened to quite a bit of this while kind of cleaning the house. I know I should be sitting and resting because I'm sick, but I couldn't help myself. So far, it's still pretty good. It's picking up. I think the beginning was a little too slow. I do really like the humor in it, and had no idea it was going to turn into like H.P. Lovecraft over here. It's like Cthulhu and like well, not necessarily exactly him, but you know, like an ancient eldritch creature thing. And I'm like, what? So yeah, anyway, it's like Scooby-Doo meets H.P. Lovecraft at this point. So it's pretty fun. Oh my gosh. There's a river called the Zoinks River. Because, you know, Shaggy would always say, Zoinks, the Zoinks River. I was like, oh my gosh. It's almost too much. It's like, it's trying to be serious, but then it's like, got these Scooby-Doo references. So I don't know. It's so bizarre. Like, I don't even know. But I think it's on track to be 4 stars for me. So at least there's that. So I'm going to pause on that one. And instead, we're going to read a physical book because I have to get this returned to the library. And it's, like I said, 147 pages. So it's short. What Feasts at Night, the sequel to What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. And like I said, I didn't know where this book was going because how could there be a sequel to Fall the House of Usher when that book, you know, the first book was based on Fall the House of Usher, but now they don't have any more source material. So basically it's about this character, Alex, who, you know, survived that terrible ordeal in the first book and now returns to their home country of Galatia. And it says, in theory, you can find relaxation in Galatia in the autumn. This is set in autumn time, so it is going to make me kind of in the fall mood. And it's not remotely near fall, but I'll be in the fall mood come August for sure. It sounds very atmospheric. And then finally at the end of the little summary, it says the village, this is the only part that actually tells what it's about. The villagers whisper that a breath-stealing monster from folklore has taken up residence in Easton's home. Easton knows better than to put too much stock in local superstitions, but they can tell there's something not quite right in their home, ... or in their dreams. So I'm going to try it. I don't know why I'm really into the horror reading mode at this point. It's not near Halloween. Maybe it's like that Summerween thing that everybody does on BookTube. But a little ways into this and I will update you some more. Oh, I should probably get some Gatorade too. I'm pretty thirsty and maybe I'll drink the rest of my coffee. Okay, here's our ambiance because it's still cloudy and now we have jazz in a rainy cafe. I was gonna go with a scary themed one, but it just, I don't know. They were all Halloween themed and I didn't want to go for that. It is update time. So I have now read a third, or maybe even a little over a third. I'm right at a third. I don't know. I have less than 100 pages left is all I know. And so I think I can definitely finish this book today because it did not take long to read a third of the book. Time right now is 12:20. Oh, just changed. It is 12:25. I'm very hungry because it turns out cereal and that little English muffin did not fill me up. So we are about to go and make a very strange lunch. I'll show you that in a minute. But so far, this is just okay. Like, it's really, I mean, there's just not really much happening, which is funny because this book is so small, you would think that a lot would have to happen in a short amount of time. And I had the thought while I was reading that, like, maybe I don't really like novellas because they're too short. Like, I want them to be longer, although I don't think this one could be longer. But then I'm reading Meddling Kids and it could be shorter. So I don't know. What do I know? But I think the mystery or whatever the horror element is just starting to get introduced. And I'm like, I could have had that happen a little bit earlier. I feel like there's a lot of stuff I'm just kind of skipping. Not skipping, but just really skimming it. And I will say, I do think the writing style, I really like the writing style. It sounds like a classic. It sounds very old timey, which is I think what the author is going for. So that's working really, really well. So if you like old timey sounding books, I think you'll like this one, which just shows how good this author is because some of her other books, there goes Ella. Some of her other books are not quite that style. So I think that, you know, she's able to write a lot of different writing styles, which is good. Starving, my stomach is like growling. So let's go read and eat, and then we're gonna go dye my hair. Wish me luck. You're gonna see me here in a little bit with very different hair. Actually, I lied. It's not gonna be that different, but I'll show you the box. It's like a little bit lighter than what I have now. I thought I'd go a little lighter, but I have tons of gray. It's all coming back. My natural color is basically gray at this point. It's so sad. I'm getting so old. Lunch is ready. Ella is ready for me to drop some of it, as you can see. We have Amy's what's called Southwestern vegetable soup, which I just realized I'm having like extra vegetables because I made these little veggie muffins for Ash. They've got like oats and all kinds of different little veggies in there and cheese and eggs and Greek yogurt, but he did not like them and I can't taste them. So I'm just gonna eat them too. I don't know if they taste good or not. And I'm gonna hope that I can taste a little bit of this because it's my new favorite ever, pink sludge bologna. It's kind of strawberry flavored. It's so good. And we're gonna read. Okay, here's the color reveal. it is still very dark like it was before. But like I said, you can only go so much lighter than what you were. But honestly, I mean, you probably can't really tell. Maybe you can. One, the grays are gone, so that's great. But two, it is actually brown and not black. When I would dye my hair with the old color, it would look straight up black. So at least there's that. And now we are just chilling, watching roller coaster point of views. I mean, there are worse things to be watching. Oh my goodness, this poor boy. Totally forgot to show you what we had for dinner. It was spaghetti, but then we had this chicken parm on top that was cheese filled, and I couldn't taste it, of course. So, you know, couldn't tell you if it was good or not. And I had a spinach salad with some raspberry vinaigrette dressing, and I didn't put any croutons or any walnuts or anything on it because, like, why? I can't taste it. So everybody has gone, Zach and Ash have gone to the lake to throw rocks into the lake because that's what they like to do. So they will probably be gone 30 to 45 minutes so I can get some reading done. It is currently 6:05, so I'm technically over 12 hours now into this readathon, and had I not played with Ash since he's been home, then I would definitely have finished 2 books already, which would have been really cool. So technically that would be on track to have 4 books in 24 hours had I actually been able to stay up for 24 hours. But anyway, I'm going to go listen to more of Meddling Kids, and I will update you once I actually have something to talk about with the reading. And I really want to start a new book. Like tonight, I want to get done with these books really quickly because I really, really want to start a new book. I think I want to try this Woven Kingdom just to see if it's going to be any good. Finished a book at 10:01. It is 10:01. My fever came back again. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me talk about it. If I don't get better, if it's not, literally if my fever comes back tomorrow, it'll be 3 days. And it says online, like after 3 days, you gotta go to the doctor. And the stuff coming out, it's like yellow, it's a whole thing. Now I've started this like hacking cough. So we're about to get real fun and take the best cough medicine in the world, Bromfen. Bromfen, it also has Sudafed and what's it called? Antihistamine, and the DM stuff, like the actual cough medicine. It's prescription only, and I love it. So anyway, I'm gonna take that here very, very soon. So it will knock me out. About 30 minutes after I take it, I'll be out. There's no fighting it because of the cough medicine part of it. It makes me so sleepy. But I just wanted to tell you that I finally finished a book. Oh my gosh, it has taken me all day to read this book and most of the other book. So we're only gonna get through 2 books in this vlog. Here I was thinking we could at least start another one, but I'm just too sleepy. I'm gonna go and eat a snack because I am hungry. I'm still gonna get ready for bed. I've gotta like take all my makeup off and brush my teeth and floss my teeth. And so that all takes like 15 or 20 minutes, probably at least 20 minutes. And then I'm gonna lay in bed and listen to the book. So I mean, I can probably get a good 40 minutes of listening time in, but I don't think that's quite enough to finish Meddling Kids. But let me just tell you about this book. I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. It's a little below average because I didn't really super enjoy it. I don't know what the point of this book is. This book did not need to exist for any reason. I do like the fact that the author tried to, I mean, it's almost like doing a little bit of world building in these little novellas. Like, it's a fictional place that it's set in, and it sounds like it's in, I don't know, I think it's supposed to be somewhere like Bulgaria or Serbia. It says, because it's based on the war that the main character was in, was the Serbian-Bulgarian War of 1885. So I guess that's supposed to be the setting, 1885. But it's set in this like fictional place, and like she tries to do world building, but sometimes it's kind of strange because like they use different pronouns. So instead of using he and him, they use like ka or something, and va and var for like he and her, or for like she and her. But one time I actually caught her using the word like his, because I think it's for the word his as well, not just like he and him. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think she forgot and just like used the wrong word. So I don't know, it was kind of odd. I don't like that part of it because it just throws me off. I'm like, why? That's really, really weird that this place would use different pronouns. But anyway, you saw the really weird page that I reacted to. The other page I was like, what? Was basically the scene on the front, but it was the only like gory kind of scene in the whole book. Also, nothing happened in this book. Literally, it tells you, that's why I can't tell you much on this plot synopsis, because I mean, obviously it's a novella, it can't tell you too much, but it literally tells you what happens. If you know that there's a breath-stealing monster from folklore that shows up and is going into people's dreams and stealing their breath, and they have to fight it. And that's it. The end. It's like, okay, why? What was the point of that? So I'm gonna, on Goodreads, first I was gonna call it 3 stars. So on Goodreads, I'm gonna put it up to 3 stars and then write in the comments like 2.5. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, but I don't think I'm gonna continue this series. Kingfisher, some of her books have been super, super good, and then some of them have really let me down. The really good ones would be Nettle and Bone. That was my favorite one. And then my other favorite would be, well, Nettle and Bone was definitely the top favorite. And then the next favorite would be A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, which was so fun. And then I tried some of her like horror novels and stuff. And then I tried A House with Good Bones and DNF'd it. So I don't know. I've read like 5 or 6 books by her at this point, and like only 2 have been hits and the rest have been kind of like misses or like 3 stars or below. So I don't know. I'm not going to continue the series if it's still going, but I don't think you need to read it. You could read What Moves the Dead if you just really like Follow the House of Usher. Honestly, I would suggest Mexican Gothic over this book, over this series. Mexican Gothic is really similar to What Moves the Dead. It's like the same plot, and I liked it better, so I would recommend that. So with Meddling Kids, we are at 85%, I believe, and I have 2 hours left, so, but I'm reading it at 1.75 speed. So there's still no way I can probably finish it tonight. But what was I going to show you? Well, I don't even know. I was just going to tell you there was like another twist or reveal kind of thing, and I liked that too. If it's true, I don't actually know if it's like actually happening or not, but it's fine. I think it's going to be like a 3.5. I thought it was going to be better than it was, and honestly, I think it's my fault. It's not the book's fault. If I had read this on a physical copy or an ebook, I think it would have been better. I think it's because I'm listening to the audio and I get distracted and I'm listening to it pretty quickly, so it's probably my fault. But at this point, I just want to kind of power through it. So yeah, I've made it as long as I can. It is 11 o'clock. Yay! I made it till 11. That's crazy, but my medicine will be kicking in right now. In fact, I think I feel it. Like my fingers get tingly. I feel so weird because I hate cough medicine, but I took it 30 minutes ago, so it's kicked in. But I read all the way to part 5 of Meddling Kids. So there's 5 parts of the book, and part 5 is the shortest. And so I assumed that everything was wrapping up at the end of part 4. It seemed like it was. And I was like, hey, tomorrow I'll just basically read part 5, which will be like the epilogue. Now, part 5 is called Annihilation. So it doesn't really sound like a wrap up. But now that I know where part 4 leaves off, this is going to be the best part of the book. Like crazy stuff's about to go down. I don't even know. This book has gone off the rails. This part's going to be my favorite part. Like this might redeem the whole rest of the book. I'm so excited. All I want to do is finish reading it, but I'm too sleepy. So I'm going to finish it first thing in the morning though, and then just update you on the ending because I have 57 minutes of actual listening time left of the audiobook. Is it 57? No, it was, no, wait, what? Oh, it was like 35 minutes left and I can be done with this book. So I'm going to finish it first thing in the morning, let you know how it goes. Now I am going to bed. So good night. Hello, it is finally time to end this vlog. It's 2 days later. I was so sick yesterday that I couldn't even film a wrap up. And like I said, I had to go to the doctor, figured out it was strep throat. I'm on antibiotics now. I should be feeling better anytime because I've had 2 doses of antibiotics. Well, 3 doses actually now, counting this morning. So hopefully I'll start feeling better very, very soon. But I just wanted to update you that I did yesterday in all of my feverish haze that I had. I did finish Meddling Kids and I wound up giving it 3.5 stars. And one thing I forgot to tell you about this book is, I don't know if I liked it or not. The one aspect of it is that it has like elements of a screenplay, just randomly out of the blue, it'll have like dialogue where it shows like, you know, it'll have the character's name and then like a colon, and they'll just like talk back and forth like that. And it just happens sometimes, and it's just totally random. And sometimes there's even stage directions. Yeah, like in parentheses, in italics. And I was like, why? It almost, the first time I saw it, I thought that they were like filming this as a TV show or something. And I was like, what? So I'm not quite sure why it was there. Didn't really seem to serve much purpose. And I did not really enjoy that much. It seemed so random. It kind of would take me out of it, like when they would start doing that. So I kind of wish maybe that they hadn't done it. I don't know. It was interesting, I guess. But I did like the ending. I thought everything wrapped up in a really cool way. And there were some twists at the end that I liked. I did think the beginning was just a little too slow. Trying to get all the characters back together and getting them introduced. I get that the author was trying to give us really a lot of backstory on these characters and make them seem real. So maybe I would have had the opposite complaint had they just jumped right into the mystery. I'd have been like, I don't care about these people. So he really tried to build up the characters first before they got back into their childhood mystery. So, I mean, I guess I did like that, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it was fine. I still recommend it. It's a fun summer read, especially if you like Stranger Things vibes, that kind of thing. And then, of course, I read this book and gave it 2.5 stars and don't really recommend it. So yes, in answer to the question of was my TBR too ambitious for this video? Yes. Yes, it was. So what have we learned? We have learned that doing a 24-hour readathon is impossible if you have a young child, if you are sick. Yeah, I don't know how people do it. I really don't. Like, you just have to have no other responsibilities, I guess. Because really, I only read for like, I think I calculated 13 hours. So I only read for 13 hours. Yeah, that's all I had time to do. I think I did only sleep for what, like 6.5 hours of it or something, I think. Yeah, I only slept for 6.5 hours of it, but then I had to play with Ash like in the evening and stuff. And so it just, you know, it just was what it was. But yeah, so for 13 hours, I mean, I pretty much almost finished Meddling Kids and then read this little book. So that's what I got. If you guys enjoyed, let me know. If you ever want me to try this again, let me know. I can pretty much only do it during breaks like Christmas break, summer break, spring break. But we can do it again sometime if you want. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you again later. Bye!